Hey guys, this is Abhishek from GadgetsReviews.com, and today we are going to talk about the new Android One program which has been launched in India. And Google has actually launched 3 Android One phones which are coming from different manufacturers, which include Micromax. The one which comes from Micromax is called Canvas A1, the one which comes from Spice is called Dream Uno, and the one which comes from Carbon is called Sparkle V or Sparkle 5. So all these phones are equal in terms of specification as far as hardware is concerned, and they are equal in terms of software as well, because they are running on the same version of Android, and the future updates on these devices are going to be pushed from Google again. So you will get to see future updates of Android much faster on these phones as compared to any other phone in the market, because it will be pushed from Google, and it is again Google responsibility to push these updates, and they will maintain that because these phones are part of Android One program which they have started launched. So they have started providing these devices at an affordable price point of 6,399, which is approximately 6,400 rupees, which is again not a very high price point, and the specification at which these phones are coming are also good enough. So we are going to answer all these questions which we have got from our readers. I have these questions in a tablet over there, and I will be reading these questions and will be answering them out in this video to clear all your doubts related to Android One. So the first question is, what is Android One? So Android One is actually a program for providing devices which has Google experience. So Google actually started this program so that all those smartphones who actually lack in terms of the Google experience, whenever you buy a smartphone from Micromax, Carbon or Spice, you end up complaining that you are not getting the future updates when it comes to Android. And again, you end up complaining that there are a lot of bloatware which comes pre-installed, there are a lot of pre-installed applications which you cannot get rid of on these devices. So Google actually came up with an answer, a complete answer to this particular problem. That is, they will provide these phones with the stock Android Google experience, so that you have a vanilla stock Android experience, and also the updates are going to be promised. So that means these devices will also get Android L update as well over time, and all the updates will be pushed from Google, so you don't have to complain, you don't have to go to Micromax, Carbon or Spice to get these updates. So this is the Android One program. And one more thing they have done is, by providing these devices, they have provided the devices with the same specification and the same hardware. So the only difference is going to be on the basis of which manufacturer you want to choose and why you would like to choose that, on the basis of trust maybe, or on the basis of offers you are getting from these phones. Again, all of these phones are going to be the same. So Android One program is an affordable budget program from Google, in which a phone is going to be coming at approximately $100. So the current pricing of these devices is approximately $105, and they are available in the market. You can buy it from Amazon. The Micromax one, you can buy it from Amazon. You can buy the Spice one from Flipkart, and you can buy the Carbon Sparkle 5 from Snapdeal. So this is the Android One program. How does it benefit the Indian consumers? So second question is, how does it benefit? So in terms of benefit, you get the benefit in terms of the future updates, and second thing is, you get a stock vanilla Android experience without any crash or any kind of UI issues. So there are two things which are more important. First is, you are getting the latest version of Android on these devices. Whenever it is released, Android update will come on these devices. Second is, you are getting a stock Android experience in which you are not getting those crappy apps or those bloatware apps application from Micromax or Spice, which you actually don't need, which you actually don't use, and they sit on the device and they keep on using the memory and other things, and you cannot get rid of them. So this is how you can actually get a complete Google kind of experience on these devices. This is the kind of benefit, and again, these devices are also coming at affordable price point. So Google has actually talked with these companies, and they have provided these devices at an affordable price point, which is much more important. So that is why these devices are so much costly. As of now, they are coming with decent specifications. These specifications are good, but the price which has been set is again controlled by Google. When it comes to the third question which we have is Android One the best affordable phone? As of now, it may not be the best, but it is among the best. So that is something I can say. There are some phones which are already in the market, like Redmi 1S, like Motorola Moto E. Moto E does provide you a stock Android kind of experience with little application coming from Motorola, so that is pretty good. Redmi 1S on the other hand, in terms of specification, is much better than the Android One phones. So this is something I would like to tell you, that there are good phones in the market like Motorola Moto E and Redmi 1S, but Android One phones are also good enough. And one thing which you can actually expect from these phones is the future updates, which will even come before the Moto E and the Redmi 1S in terms of version of Android or new things which you would like to see. One more thing which is a disadvantage on Redmi 1S, even when it is better in terms of hardware specs, the software UI is not stock Android, and software version of Android which is running on the Redmi 1S is Android 4.3 Jelly Bean. Apart from that, we have another question: how is Android One different from a regular Android One phone? So how is Android One phone from a regular Android phone? Android One phone is different because it is running on the stock Android UI. It will get updates from Google, whereas the same will not happen on the other Android phone which you are using. Android One phone is definitely different as compared to the other phones, because the other phones are not running the stock Android mostly, and the updates are not being pushed out from Google. So that is the major difference. And then apart from that, specification will vary as well as the price will vary. Take a look over the other question which we have: what are the issues with Android One phone as of now? So the current issues which I can say with Android One phone is that you cannot actually use these phones for high definition or heavy gaming. Apart from that, when it comes to the day-to-day usage and performance, these phones are good enough to be used. You can use this phone without any issues, without any lag in any day-to-day operations. As well as for gaming, we have played games like Modern Combat 4, Asphalt 8, Frontline Commando D-Day, Dead Trigger 2, and all these games actually were running on this device. But when you play these games in high graphic mode, especially if you are a gamer, then definitely this device is not for you. So these games will run, but if you run these games in high graphic mode, then it will lag. You will see the graphic lag on these devices whenever you play these games in high graphic mode. So definition, in terms of high definition gaming, these devices are not specifically meant for high definition gaming or heavy gaming. When we talk about heating issues are not there on these Android One phones which I have seen. So irrespective how many time you play a specific game, you will not experience a good amount of heating. There will be a slight amount of heating which will happen at the backside, which you can feel, especially at the processor and the GPU area, but it is not something which could make you uncomfortable to use these phones. So heating is not an issue as of now on the Android One phones. I have tested the Canvas A1, I have tested the Spice Stream Uno, as well as I have tested the Carbon Sparkle 5. All of them were pretty fine when it comes to gaming, and I did not face any heating issues. Second question is again, another question is again about how is the signal quality. So signal quality on these phones is pretty good. There is no problem. I used GPS navigation on these devices. There was no problem with the GPS navigation as well, and the signal quality is good as well. And call quality when it comes to calling was also pretty fine. There was no issue at all. It was not the best, but it was pretty okay for this price point, and I did not face any kind of call drops or anything when it comes to call breakage because of the phone. Now the other question is how Android One is being compared with Redmi 1S. So Redmi 1S is much better in terms of hardware specification as compared to any Android One phone, which includes the Micromax one, Spice one, and the Carbon one. But the software which is there on Redmi 1S is Android 4.3 Jelly Bean, whereas you are getting the latest version of Android on the Android One phone, which is Android 4.4.4 KitKat, which is a major advantage over on Android One. So in terms of software, I would say Android One is better. In terms of hardware specs, definitely Redmi 1S is better. Redmi 1S can also be used for heavy gaming, whereas the Android One phones are not supposed to be used for heavy gaming because they does give you that kind of lag, and you also need an SD card to actually run the game in order to install the game, because some part of the application data will get transferred to the phone to the SD card. Again, when it comes to installing applications on the SD card on the Android One phones is concerned, you cannot do that, but you install an application on the phone memory and later on you can move the application from the phone memory to the SD card. So in that case, some of the application data will get moved from the phone memory to the SD card on Android One phones, which is possible in the case of Android One phones, but it is not possible in the case of Redmi 1S. So these are the differences on the basis of which you can actually take the decision. So in case software matters to you, you can go for the Android One phones, and in case the hardware which matters to you, you want better specs, then you can always go for Redmi 1S. Another question is, would Android One phones get the Android update. Yes, all the Android One phones will get Android update, and this is something which has been promised from Google, so you don't need to worry about that. Which Android One phone is the best? So out of all these three phones, I can say in terms of the design, we really like the Canvas A1 in terms of the design, which really stand out as compared to the other two Android One phones. So Micromax Android One phone is especially better in terms of the design, in terms of the look and feel, as well as in terms of the hold. It has rounded edges, which gives you a very good finishing and very good hold. The same happens on the Spice Dream Uno as well, which also have rounded edges and a matte finish, rubberized back cover. So in terms of the feel and the hold, definitely the Android One phones which are coming from Micromax and Spice are better. And when we talk about hardware and software, everything remains the same. But when we talk about the offers which are coming up, so there are better offers coming up with Canvas A1. So you are getting 8GB memory card within the with the offer when you buy it from Amazon.in. So you can get 8GB memory card with the phone, and also you are getting some discount offers and other schemes which are slightly better on the Canvas A1 as compared to the offers which you are getting on Spice Android One phone, as compared to the offers which you are getting with the Carbon Sparkle 5. Let's talk about the other question, which is whether these devices support full high definition video playback. So full high definition video playback is supported at 720p, but at 1080p some of the videos will not play. So in that case, you can always use MX Player for the same, and you can play full high definition videos as well with the help of MX Player by using software and hardware decoding. Now it is about whether these devices have Gorilla Glass protection. So none of these devices, none of the Android One phones actually have a Corning Gorilla Glass protection. So there is no protection on any of these three phones, and there is no Gorilla Glass on these phones as far as display is concerned. But the display feels good. However, I did not got a chance to actually drop it by accidentally or deliberately, so I cannot comment on that. I do not know whether the display will break if you drop it accidentally. Maybe that you people can actually help us know in future once you start using the phone. Now the other question is related to the battery life. So battery life on these Android One phones is also decent. I would say it is not great, but it is decent. So battery life on these phones is going to be approximately 1 day, but only with moderate or basic usage. If you do it with, like, if you actually play some games, if you watch some videos, so if you do any of these two activities in slightly more time, basically if you do it for a longer duration, then in that case you will not get 1 day battery backup. You will get around battery backup up to evening, and on continuous usage these devices can give you around 3 to 4 hours of battery backup when you play a game continuously. And this is how it will happen. If you watch a movie continuously, it will give you around 4 hours of battery backup, 3 to 4 hours of battery backup. And if you do the same with the gaming, then also you will get approximately the same time of backup from these devices as far as battery is concerned. And then we have HD video record. Yes, you do have HD video recording capability on these phones. So Android One phone, all the Android One phones are capable of recording high definition video at 720p as well as at 1080p from the rear camera. Front camera can record 720p video as well. So all these high definition videos can be recorded from the front as well as from the rear, but the frame per second is less than 30 frames per second. For the front camera you will get around 29 frames per second. For the rear camera you will get approximately 27 frames per second. And this is something on sometimes for the 1080p video which we recorded, it was around 16 frames per second on one of the Android One device when we recorded the high definition video. We have already uploaded the samples on our YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and watch that. Then we have the OTG support. So OTG is not supported as of now on any of the Android phones, which is a reality. Let's see if this change in the next Android One phones. When we talk about the RAM free, so free amount of RAM which you will get on these devices on first boot is going to be approximately 500 MB. So 500 MB of free RAM you will get on these devices. This is something which we have seen on across all the Android One phones. When it comes to day-to-day usage and performance, I can say day-to-day usage and performance is pretty good on all the Android One phones, and we did not face any issues, we did not face any lag, we did not face any crashes. So there was a time when a game called Frontline Commando D-Day was crashing on the Dream Uno, whereas it was happening because of the SD card. So we removed the SD card and we inserted the SD card again, and it was running fine after that. So I did not personally face any crashes or any problem with the phones. Day-to-day usage is pretty good on these phones, so you can use them for day-to-day usage. For moderate usage as well, they are good enough. So these are all the questions which we have got from our readers, and I have just answered them. In case I have missed anything which does matter to you when it comes to Android One phone, I would love to answer that. You can leave your questions in the comment section below. You can always like this video if this video helped you by clicking the like button below. You can subscribe to our YouTube video channel for more videos like this by clicking the subscribe button below. Thanks for watching this video. This is Abhishek signing off. Thank you.